can really trust, and you feel bad that they're on the handcuffs
And
of
now I see
working
why
for a
Pat
network.
McAfee's not hired because he
Yeah,
will
he is
completely
too
tell it
loud.
how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
It's
yeah,
not he's too
no.
loud. It's the fact that he literally is a realist. The guy will come out and call something
mhm.
BS if he sees it. And I love Pat McAfee.
Like I would
I
give it
He
watch
is
his
to
podcast
entertaining.
show.
what's his face? He's on the Monday Night Countdown show anyways, with Steve Young and those guys.
Oh,
His name escapes me. He was up for plenty of GM jobs. Like I just give him
Oh, Lewis Riddick.
give Lewis Riddick the Monday Night
yeah.
Football
Now,
job.
see, he's
Just
one of
give
the
it to
guys
Lewis.
I trust, and I can't believe he hasn't gotten hired as a GM yet. Because honestly, he'll say some crazy shit, and sometimes I wonder if it's scripted and written because it doesn't fit in with like how he normally would talk or analyze stuff, and it just kind of comes off as, eh. But like I do respect a lot of his work and he is an intelligent football mind.
For sure, yeah.
I gotta ask, why is Eric Davis like went away from analyzation? Because
Uh,
I really liked him when he was on there.
I'll tell you
Um,
off air.
oh, okay. My bad. Didn't mean to
Oh,
press
that's
Eric. I just
No,
want to
you're
know.
fine.
I liked you on being an analyst. My bad. Anyways, all right. Jay, do you have any 3 factors to win, 3 factors to lose, or did we cover them?
Let's see.
Oh,
I
here
think
comes
I
his
have
Rolodex
notes.
notebook.
Shut up, man. I got notes. See, I'm an old school guy. I got notebooks, all right? Let's
Same.
see.
Were those
What do we
doodles?
have here?
Yeah,
Shut
I
up.
doodle a lot too.
At least I'm not the only one. Okay, let's see, we had Dave. Well, let's see. For offense for the Packers, I had Devontae Adams establishing his dominance early. I just think that it's not about forcing him like the San Diego or the Los Angeles Charger game, but it's making sure that Devontae, like, they know he's there and they got to pay attention to him and that he's going to be a factor early and often. And I thought the tight end group as a whole for the Packers needed to play a big game. They need to be able to block. They need to get open. They need to be there in the flats because Aaron does have a propensity at certain times in the game when things are going well. All of a sudden he'll be like, oh, things are going good. You know what? I'm going to get the big play. And then it doesn't happen. And then he's like that kid that's like, oh, I couldn't make the 55-foot three-point. Well, now I'm going to be here until 10 o'clock at night, and I'm not moving from this spot until I hit that 55-foot three-point shot. And so he needs sometimes some people to bail him out and be like, hey, I'm standing here in the flat. Throw me the damn ball, you fool. It's the tight end's job.
It's his one Achilles heel in his whole career. He's addicted to the big play. Rodgers always wants the big play action, dropping back and just launching one.
And then also I thought with this defensive front as a whole, I thought that they needed to move the pocket early and make that defensive front have to run a couple of extra yards every play early and often. Make them do a lot of chasing and then, get them moving one direction and have the play going back the other. Just make them run a few extra yards every play because that's going to pay dividends at the end of the third and in the fourth quarter if the game is close and you're trying to close it out. And then really, if the Packers are going to lose, I think it's the same thing as always. I think they end up playing guys too much like Lancaster. Something happens. They're not stopping the run. And if they didn't fix the pre-snap communication issues where they're trying to still get lined up and the ball is getting snapped and they're giving up the big play, it could be a long day.
Highest in the league for
them.
delay of games.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we have 9 delay of game penalties in the NFL right now, and the next highest is 5. So
wow.
We're highest by a margin, which is sad. But I mean, it is what it is. It's something I believe can be fixed. Obviously, with Rodgers and LaFleur and trying to get efficient there. But hey, also last but not least, the biggie.
I have one more. I was just taking a drink. No, I think
Jesus, never mind. I just built that up.
I think now for the
See
Packers,
what he does to me, Javi.
Yeah, well, I need a drink. This goes back to a little article you might want to check out that I just wrote. It's an underlining factor that may or may not even be a factor, but I think this is the time they're going to debut it, Javi. They signed back on October 16th a former Redskins receiver, Ryan Grant, who is a pure slot receiver, unlike anybody else they have on this roster as far as in their receiving core. He's been healthy and has not played a single snap or been active for a single game since then. And there's a reason for that, because LaFleur was on that staff in Washington when he was drafted in 2014. He's in his 7th season. He played, I think, the first 2 weeks of the season with the Raiders. He had 4 catches for like 38 yards, and then they just released him. So I think he could be a big-time factor in, just because he's different. You know, he's a pure slot receiver, and we all know that all these offenses really become a different nightmare, a different animal when they have a really good slot receiver to help convert third downs in that short and intermediate route trees.
Marquise Goodwin.
Yeah. If he can catch the ball.
Wow. Has he had that much of a problem this year with it?
It's I don't know what's going on with Marquise.
Because he had a solid year last year.
Yeah, he had his first 2 years have been pretty good, but he's had some off-field stuff. You know, nothing like illegal, or he's had some deaths in the family.
Like Reuben Foster.
Yeah, he's had deaths in the family. His wife was pregnant twice. They lost a baby twice in consecutive years.
Jesus. Yeah,
so those things are affecting him. And then right now his wife is pregnant again, but she's further along this time. So I'm pretty sure that I shouldn't say pretty sure, but that may be something. You know, if you have kids, you understand.
His mind's off the field. It's fully understandable.
Yeah, and that's family stuff.
Possibly being a dad, yeah.
Yeah, and then recently he missed a couple games because I believe he hasn't said it, but if you just follow some of the stuff he says and some of the other people that are connected to him, there was another death in the family. So there's outside factors that may be weighing on him, and I hope he gets it all together, just for his his own personal sake.
I love him as a player. That's why I was wondering.
Yeah, because last year he had a great game against you guys, and I was like, what? I was like, who the hell is this guy? Yeah. So there's maybe this is the game he gets it together, and because we need him and we need the speed, we need to take the pressure off Kittle, we need to take the pressure off Debo, stretch the field. The Niners haven't stretched the field very much this year, and it's partly because he hasn't been right. That's a big factor.
Now I got one more final question before we get to the last one. I just came to my mind. So with Kenyon Drake and how he did against the 49ers in his 2 matchups, Aaron Jones is built a lot like him, and that burst he has and that vision through the hole. I mean, are you expecting the Packers to kind of come out like that, to where they use, because of the play style, the way Drake is? Because Aaron Jones runs a lot like him.
No, not really. I think the Packers are going to do what they do, and Aaron Jones is just a really good running back, so he's going to get his yards. The Niners, they play this wide 9 front a lot more now, so it does affect the run defense a little bit more, but that's up to the linebackers to fill those gaps, play their run lanes accordingly. My personal opinion, Aaron Jones is better than Kenyon Drake, so I think the thing with this game that I don't think anyone's really mentioned is the Niners defense plays that offense every day at practice. It's essentially the same offense. So they know what to do. It's just a matter of the Packers players executing it. And when the Packers execute it like the Niners execute it, it works. So there's going to be big plays.
Packages.
Yeah. So it's going to be big plays in this game. And I think Aaron Jones will be I think he'll be just fine. I think they're going to find ways to run the ball against the Niners. And that's
but Javi, I'm jumping in there because that's a juicy one. Here's the gem you missed in that statement. You both missed it because you're both dead wrong on that. This offense is not the Shanahan offense as it's derived originally from even the first 4 weeks in the Packers season. People forget week 5 when they came out to play, they ended up changing their entire scheme. This scheme and Shanahan's scheme has always been based on the zone stretch, outside zone stretch, okay? It didn't work for them. Didn't work. Aaron Jones didn't work well. Jamal Williams was hit and miss. So they scrapped it week 5 and went to the inside zone. So all of the outside zone stretch schemes that you guys face every day don't exist in Green Bay's playbook anymore. They've scrapped all that to inside zone stuff, and it actually changes up the blocking scheme, changes up the play action, and it changes a lot of the looks, the footwork. Well, it really does. That's the one thing that people don't realize. Just like a quarterback, a running back for each individual play has a certain footwork that he's supposed to do to get to the hole, through the hole, or make a cutback. And if your feet aren't right, you're going to get beat just like any other position. And so that does matter on timing and the way a defense has to attack, because it's a little different the way the offensive linemen are. The way they hit their splits on their gaps and stuff is different on the inside zone than it is on the stretch, because you're trying to create a hole and you're creating a different spot for the backside cut than you are on the outside zone stretch. So that's the wrinkle here, Javi, is this defense is it's gonna have to kind of learn quick on its feet right away. I'm not saying it's not capable of it, but that's a little something that's been overlooked here when this matchup's come about, because I've heard that statement be thrown out a lot. It's not the same offense they face. It's a big difference in a little difference in the reality.
So I will say it's a little difference because the Niners run the inside zone just as well. You saw that against the Panthers when they ran all over the Panthers, and most of it came from the inside zone. So that's where I'm going with that, saying similar offense or same offense, semantics. But, yeah, it's Aaron Jones and Aaron Rodgers. You have to account for both. And the pass catchers for the Green Bay Packers are going to force the Niners to have to play a balanced defense. And, Aaron Jones, I think, will be successful versus the Niners this week. Partially because, one, he's on my fantasy team too, and
fantasy plays.
He can't be successful. It's all about Devontae Adams.
Yeah, and Devontae Adams.
He's on my fantasy team, not Jones.
But no, it's the Niners. To answer your question, yes, I think the Packers can run the ball, and I think they will find ways to be successful against this Niners defense, who've had a little bit of an issue with against the run.
All right, final question, the biggie. What is the final score, who wins, and who is your MVP prediction of this game?
So I was apprehensive to pick the Niners on my own podcast, and I'm apprehensive to pick them now, but I'm going to do it anyways.
Because Kittle's playing.
Yeah, now that I know Kittle's playing, it made me feel a little bit better. But I'm going to take the under the 48. So I'm going 24-21. Niners pull this out late. Just get out of there, get to 10 wins. Pretty much, hopefully, lock down that number 1 seed right there. But 24-21. It's a game that I think the Niners run game gets back to where they've been. I'm not saying they're going to run for 200 yards, but they break 100, break 120, 125 range. And just control the time of possession there. And 24-21 Niners, but I wouldn't be surprised if it went the other way.
Jay, you want to give your prediction or you want me to go?
Well, I'll go here. That way, maybe you can talk everybody off a ledge. Well, I would say that this game is going to be close. I'm going to start out by saying this. My final score is going to be the opposite of what normally you would say. The score will not tell you how close the game actually is by the end. Okay? Let's put it like that. And so I see this game being a very close game, one score, probably 3 points, and it end up being, at the end of the day, I think when the crunch time, Garoppolo ends up giving the ball away a couple of times, and they turn that into points. And then it ends up being like a 31 or 34-24 game, somewhere in there. But I don't think that final score, you're going to look at that and be able to just say, because I think the gap is going to be very late in the fourth quarter. I think up to that point, this is going to be a back and forth. You're going to be a fan that's probably going to have less hair and probably too many beers in you by the end, because you're getting gray. I kind of got that feeling. But I think the turnovers are going to be the difference here, and